to another person as a whole. Okay? Therefore, while AI can be obtained more easily, natural intelligence is not easily obtained. Sometimes two more can approach the same event different in the face of the event, and this is because people intelligence levels are different from each other. Okay. Another thing, when a human dies, you just die with the knowledge. Okay, you cannot transfer that, but with a machine, you can be able to transfer that information to the next machine. Okay. Really, another reason why we prefer artificial intelligence over human intelligence is when you can come to me today, I might be happy. Okay, then tomorrow I may not be happy. Sometimes I can be biased in terms depending whom I'm talking to. Okay, so but then with artificial intelligence, it is not biased. Okay, it will always give you the accurate results. Okay, then the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay, artificial intelligence, as I've said, it is a way of computer trying to mimic people. Okay, then machine learning and deep learning, they are a subset of artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subcategory of artificial intelligence that refers to process by which computer develop patterns recognition or the ability to continuously learn from and the predictions based on data to then make adjustments without being specifically programmed to do so. Then with deep learning, it is created in the concept of a human brain, as we have neurons. Okay. Then with deep learning, what they do, they feed the machine with information, then they make the machine to be able to recognize anything. Okay. An example of that, it is the face recognition app. Okay. At first, they taught that app to be able to recognize people. Okay. They told it to be able to recognize people. Whereas each and every day, as we are taking now your pictures, your phone can specify what your nose, your eyes, and your mouth. Okay. And I think you are all aware, even on Facebook, before, as you are posting a picture, and now Facebook is able to recognize the people that who is this and who is that. Okay, there is AI, artificial intelligence in place. And other example, it can be these self-driving cars. Okay, so these cars now, as you drive, they are able to dictate all the lines along the roads and to detect the robot. Okay, if it's red, then the car will stop. Then there are two types of AI. There is a weak AI. Is an AI system that is defined, that is designed and trained to complete a specific task. Industrial robots and virtual personal assistants such as Apple Siri use weak AI. How many of you know Siri? Okay, we have some of you. Okay, actually you can ask Siri any question, okay, and Siri can answer you back. Okay, so we have Siri as a weak AI. Then strong artificial intelligence, also known as artificial general intelligence, describes programming that can replicate the cognition ability of the human brain. When presented with unfamiliar tasks, a strong AI system can use fuzzy logic to apply knowledge from one domain to another to find the solution autonomously. AI in our days. I think with presentation that I've made, you have seen that we are interacting with AI in almost in our daily life. Okay, so let me allow Mr. Mdakane to continue.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Khethokuhle Mdakane. Yeah, I know the surname is kind of unfamiliar, but it's not what we are here for. As you can see on the picture here, it kind of shows you just an abstract of the interaction between a human being and AI. So as you can see here, let me highlight it just for you a bit. You see this red dot here? This one just is a representation of AI, and here is a human. So there is that constant interaction between AI and a human being in our world. So you can see it's creating this sort of a spark. How has AI really impacted our lives? I mean, let's just imagine life without computers. For a second, imagine writing an assignment without code. For a moment, imagine driving a car that cannot, you know now cars have reverse cameras. You don't really necessarily have to look back. You can have tinted windows now. All you can do is just look at the camera and reverse without a problem. In recent years, artificial intelligence will woven itself into our lives, into our daily lives, in ways we may not even be aware of. It has become so pervasive that many remain unaware of both impact and our reliance upon it. Let's think about it. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? I mean, most people can say they start off by praying, but if we were to tell the truth, the first thing you do is check your phone. Maybe you are looking for Facebook updates. I mean, we know some of us here, we get data from Swazi Mobile, data only available after 12. So most updates you get them after 12, maybe 3. For us as students, we don't have the time to stay that late. We don't have time to stay awake up to that late. So we wake up in the morning, maybe we are checking our schedule. I mean, I can give you an example of Mr. Shaw and Mr. Matse here. Their timetable is saved on Google Drive. You know, everything now, we are using virtual machines for almost everything in our lives. So here, just because Mr. Matse has already started touching on most parts of where AI is really. If you can look at on this diagram right here, we have 4 fields, but it's not limited to these 4 fields, but these are like the core fields that where AI has really been adopted. We have the healthcare field, we have the robotics. I mean, I know most people, when you talk about artificial intelligence, the first thing that comes into their mind are robots. I mean, we've seen robots in movies. We know Will Smith, those are iRobot things. But really, AI intelligence hasn't reached that level yet, but it's getting there. We have AI in business analytics. Businesses are using AI to really sell their products to you. We have marketing. In marketing, business and marketing is one thing, like they are adopting AI to market the right products to the right people. What are the applications of AI in healthcare? Right now, I think we are still in the midst of a pandemic. How do you think the government is able to track all this data? How many people are infected? How many people are in the hospital? How many people have hit the road? What are the effects of the vaccine on our lives? This information is collected worldwide, and there are certain algorithms where now you use AI, deep learning, machine learning. As Mr. Roosevelt has already explained, machine learning is a subset of AI, and then deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So what actually happens is that these 3 components are interconnected. So let's say, for example, we have a country like Swaziland, and I think now the UN has created, I think it's the UN in health, I don't know what's the acronym for the organization, but under the UN, they have systems now where each country is able to feed data into their system, and then their system automatically it processes that info, because when you feed something into the system, it's data. I think most of you here are doing IT, you understand the difference between data and information. Data is raw. If I can just say there are 50 people in this room, that's data. But once now I start to depict and go deep into what that data entails so that I can use it for something, maybe I can say it's 50% male, 50% female. Now that's information because now I can use it to make decisions. Okay, if we're holding the next conference, what's supposed to be our strategy? Now this is female. We want to make a decision. How if we can see that the males in this school are not really interested in these presentations, what can we do? What can we do to promote such events so that they can join? Right. We are using the process data to make the decision. So now coming back to healthcare, the UN is using such data to make decisive information. It's not like when they woke up and declared coronavirus pandemic, it's just someone who decided. There was data that was processed by AI. Data was collected from all over the world. How many people have been infected? How fast is this thing spreading? If you remember and you are following the news, it took them a while to actually declare coronavirus as a pandemic. And declaring something as a pandemic has a lot of repercussions. You remember stores were closed, we couldn't travel, we were supposed to wear masks and all that. So in such instances, AI makes it easy to collect the information and process it. Imagine someone at UN who had to receive calls from all over the world, getting data from them on maybe hourly basis, daily basis. I mean, that's a lot of work. But if you can just create a system where each country inputs its data and the system processes the data, what you see are just analytics, are just summation. It provides you with the summary. Okay, this is how it is. Okay, the virus is a lot in Africa. Now, you can start looking at other information. What is causing the coronavirus to spread so fast in Africa? People are unaware of the importance of wearing masks. You see, that's data that you get online, readily available. Coming into AI in business. If now I can say, just search for cheap online tickets, cheap flight tickets. In a second, when you open Facebook, you'll find an advert. If you search on Google and you search for something, the moment you log into Facebook, you'll find an advert of a company that is selling those cheap tickets. How do you think they've learned that? If you notice now, when you log into Google, you have to create a Google account. When you log into Facebook, you have to use your email account. When you log into YouTube, you have to use your email account. So that is how data is actually just allocated for each and every person. So we look at your activities. What is this person most likely to buy? Has any of you ever used AliExpress here? Any online buying platform here? I think we have one here in Swaziland called Disitana, if you've ever heard of such. Yeah. So if you go into such apps, what actually happens is, the first time you log into the website, most likely depending on who developed it, they'll ask you questions like, what are you most likely interested in? Maybe you like sportswear, maybe you like, you are into cars. And then from that data, they have a system that's already designed, which is the AI, which will depict for them, and then it will start suggesting things related to what you've chosen. And then again, you start selling these products, like you go on let's just use the local one, like Disitana or AliExpress. Once you search for something, let's say, for example, most people love pets. I remember I was watching a video that was just explaining, there's something I will explain later called search engine optimization. So what actually happens is, if you go onto AI and maybe you look for dog food, right? The moment you finish buying dog food, they'll start suggesting maybe the sleeping couches for dogs. There's an artificial intelligence system that is already installed in that thing, so that it will look at what you have done in the past. So it collects the data, and then there's an algorithm that actually processes the data and makes future predictions. Now, when you're in a business, I hope most of you, I think I've seen some of you are selling products here. I mean, it's a great platform to think about selling them online. When you are creating a website, now creating websites is easy. I mean, you've got things like the WordPress and all that thing. You don't really need to understand the coding and stuff. So when you are creating a website, I think there are a lot of platforms where they explain what makes a good business website, what makes an e-commerce a good. There's something it's called search engine optimization. What that does is how most likely is your site how most likely is your site going to be suggested by Google. I mean, most of us here use Google. And the first, if I search for something, I'm most likely to click on the first link that appears on Google. I'm not going to go to the second page. I mean, if we were to ask most of us, we don't even know that Google gives you multiple pages. We just look at what it presents to us. And then if you don't find what we are looking for, then we are done. AI in education. Imagine you want to enroll at CIT. You don't really know the courses they offer. I mean, you know your interests. And then there's a board. It says, what are you interested in? We understand not all of us here are good in English. I mean, we are going to make so many spelling errors. So if there's a system like that built into the school website, that's going to correct your spelling, that's going to understand what you are saying, using maybe a combination of words from data that has been used a long time ago. So what you do with these systems is that you teach them, you continuously teach them when you design them. The person is most likely to do this. He was talking about human intelligence. When you're talking, most of you here are using Android phone, right? If you click on the home button for like 3 seconds, there's something that's just going to pop up on your screen. And maybe they will say something on your mind. You know, maybe they say, call Thomas. Once you say that thing, it will immediately make a phone call, calling that person. Right? That's AI. They've taught AI to understand human language, such that when you speak, it can already translate that thing into written language. And then from that written language, it can translate into machine code. IT students, I think, maybe we'll get into that some other time. And then AI in finance. Everyone is talking about trading these days. Everyone, who has the time to be sitting the whole night looking at how the market is performing? People are starting to create what they refer to as bots. I mean, we're talking about chatbots. Now this is what we refer to as bots. What a bot does, it collects data from the world market. The world market can change instantly. I mean, now when you change a rand, a lilanga into a rand, it's like 17 rand or something, or 15, I'm not sure. But something can happen right now, and in a day, it could be worth maybe 30 rands. So you have those chatbots. They will tell you, they will detect, okay, since now the market is like this, because what affects the world market is what is happening. So this chatbot will go around searching information from different platforms, from different news channels, what is happening around the world. And then it will make an informed decision what is going to be the value of the rand in the next couple of hours. So if you are a trader and you use this bot, but you know, when you're choosing bot, you have to really research into the science behind it, how they designed it. So what this bot will, it will tell you how the value of that stock, like if you are a trader, instead of you having to research everything. I hope I've made sense in that sense. And then now, is ethics a problem for artificial intelligence? I mean, we've talked about Facebook recognizing your images. Isn't that invasion of privacy? I mean, is it really invasion of privacy if you are the one who provides Facebook with all that information? You see, the question can always be argued. There is really no word yet. That's why under the AI industry, they are still setting up organizations that are going to control everything that AI does. I mean, they are creating robots. What if the robot malfunctions? Who takes the responsibility? Is it the robot? Is it the designer? Is it the manufacturer? Or is it the one who bought it? There are still a lot of people, there are still a lot of questions around that. The answer hasn't been yet. The answer to that hasn't been yet reached. So, just to read, the increase in cooperation of artificial intelligence application raises concern that it will bring about moral, legal, and social change in the future. The rapid growth of the AI industry and the fact that it has more knowledge and workforce than humans will lead to moral change. Due to these thoughts, the inability of AI to take responsibility, will, moral, and action, and the increase in human production necessitate the existence of ethical studies. So if you are looking for a career, maybe you can start by, you know, there are a lot of studies, you can publish articles. You know, when you reach PhD, you have to start publishing articles. You can research such things, ethics concerning AI. Components that make up a responsible AI. I mean, that's just a study from MIT. They designed this symbol graph. AI should be justifiable. What it does, you should be able to justify what it did. I mean, if AI does something wrong, the one who actually designed it should justify why it actually did that. It should be explainable. You should explain why and how it does what it does. It should be monitorable. I mean, we are creating humans in a machine, but a machine can only do much. Human knowledge evolves each and every day. I mean, our mentality and the mentality our parents have are far different now. It should be unbiased. It shouldn't look at your gender, it shouldn't look at your sexual orientation, it shouldn't look at your location. It should be human-centered. It should always focus on the human behavior. It shouldn't start to create its own universe. It should be secure. If you listen to news, Facebook was not so long ago was called into court to discuss data while they were stealing data from people. They were using data, they were selling data to companies like Amazon and stuff like that. And they promised that they will make their data secure. Human data is very, very important. That's why you should be very careful of the sites you visit, the links you click, because people fish for data to make decisions. And data is very expensive. It should be reproducible. We should be able to reproduce a lot of AI if we are going to depend on it, as we are getting there. Now, what are the artificial intelligence career prospects? I mean, there's a lot of science that's required here. You need to be good in maths. I mean, but the one that's really like it's vast in a way is data scientist. You should be good at collecting data, processing data. You should learn how to use these systems which process data. You should be able how to carry out interviews, how to ask the right questions. And in AI, that is very important because remember, AI uses data. And where are we getting this data from? We are getting data from people. And who gets the data? For now, it has to be humans. And then they'll have to feed it into the AI system. I mean, they are already developing applications that can carry out interviews. What you do is just sit in front of a computer, you'll hear a voice. So you'll think it's a person, whereas it's not a person. It's just AI in action. You will carry a whole interview thinking you are with a person. Machine learning engineers. To do machine learning engineers, not only earn a higher pay than most, but they help design software capable of learning on its own, help automate unpredictable models. I mean, we are living in a country that's very much dependent on agriculture. Imagine if you could build a system that could just tell Swaziland how the weather will be maybe in the next 2 weeks. Is the weather going to be good enough for us to keep growing maize? Imagine if you could develop a system that Swaziland could use to test its soils and give detailed information as to which crop we should grow and how well productive it will be. I mean, most of us here are subsistence farmers. All we know is that we have to grow maize. But imagine if you could develop a system that is affordable. All you need to do is just present soil samples and then it will tell you which crop is right. That's AI. AI will tell you how the weather will be. I mean, we've got Google Maps here. There's this system called 2Gs. What the system does is you download, I think it's not yet available in Swaziland. What it does is you download a city, let's say for example Babana. You want to go somewhere you don't even know. So what you do is you download the city, it will collect all the data, I mean even offices, when they open, when they close, where's the entrance door, everything about it. What you do is just you put your location and then you put your destination. That system will lead you exactly to where you go. That system is a bit ahead of Google Maps, but it's just that close. Because even that one can even work offline, so you don't necessarily need data to use it. There's something called Google Translate. I mean, if any of you have ever been outside of this country, not to South Africa, because most people in South Africa speak English, to non-English speaking nations like Mozambique. If you've never experienced language barrier, that's another experience. Imagine wanting to buy a simple thing, maybe let's say an iceberg, and you don't even know how to communicate that. Nowadays, what is called Google Translate. All you need to do is just press a button, speak onto the phone will translate into the person's voice, which translate into the other person's language. That's AI in action. So we are already adopting AI. I mean, even now, some of you maybe are taking videos, or some of you are researching right now. Trust me, as soon as you finish researching, once you start entering into, maybe once you go back to Facebook, it will start suggesting courses that are related to AI. That's artificial intelligence in action. Thank you for your attention. I hope I've been clear. If there are any questions, we'll gladly take them. Thank you.